Game 1 of the season, 162 games, of course. Dodgers win in Tokyo against the Chicago Cubs 4-1. And now here we are. Season has started, and we know all the talk is that the Dodgers went out and spent $1 gazillion. Last year, this year, they keep adding to their team. Hard to look at them and not think on paper that they are the team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my question as we go into this season. And you saw the reception that Ohtani got in Japan. I mean, they love this guy.
Nah,
I
man,
mean, it is off the like a rock star.
Without
the
a doubt.
Beatles, right?
I mean, you've been there. We're not talking like 12-year-old, fans of the game. I'm talking grandmothers who are like 75, 80, and I saw it firsthand. I've been to spring training with them. They come from Japan like, this is my mother. She's 80. She had to be here for this. I'm serious. It's like serious business how big he is.
Oh, big time. But I wonder where people are. Now, here, we've talked about it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers are trying to repeat for the first time since 2000 when the Yankees.
That's so hard to believe.
2000, 25 years ago. And when we talk about National League, I know this is the one I think.
It's impossible.
It's ridiculous. That no National League team has repeated since the 1975-76 Cincinnati Reds.
That's crazy.
Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, Ken Griffey Sr. I mean, like Davey Concepcion, Sparky Anderson was the manager. We're talking about 1975-76. A National League team has not repeated.
It makes you go, oh, no, because remember the Giant.
No, they didn't.
No, because remember when the dot. No. Okay, you got to remember because when that is crazy.
That's a crazy stat. I think that
because it accidentally happens, right? Or not accidentally, but like there's just a team that's just that good. That just.
But you would just think
someone did it,
right? And the Yankees, this was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it,
that's wild.
But when I look at the Dodgers, and this is what I want to pose to you,
Uh-huh.
where are people going to fall in line? Will they admire and look at, man, they're going to win 140 games or 135 or whatever, and marvel at them as like they're the Beatles? Or will the Dodgers be the hated team that people don't root against them? They want, hate watch.
Yeah, uh-huh.
They want them to fail. They want them not to win. Where do you think Baseball America will be on this Dodger team? They got a likable guy, and Ohtani leading the way.
It's funny.
Who dislikes Mookie Betts when he's healthy and gets back out there? There's nobody. Do you hate Freddie Freeman? No. Who is there to hate?
Dude,
seriously.
So I literally have, run down my notes for this conversation. I said literally one of my bullet points, likable guys.
There's nobody
They're not.
you dislike.
They don't have anybody you dislike. How do you dislike Ohtani? Mookie Betts is just baseball and family. That's
right.
pretty much it. He's a nice guy. Bulls, like Freddie Freeman, gee golly shucks, hitting home runs on a bad ankle. Like, here's the thing, Rob. Currently, as comprised, I think people either like them or if obviously you're the Giants or obviously maybe the Yankees
rivals,
now, rivals, the Yankees.
The Yankees are going to hate them, right? Yeah, because they lost the World
But I
Series.
think most people will like them or be indifferent. Oh, the Dodgers, cool. Whatever. I don't mind them. They win again. The hate train starts because for years, especially the last 6-7 years, what's it been? They've been underachieving. Oh, they won 100 games. They can't get out the division round. Oh, they did this, but they don't win anything. Oh, they went to the World Series, but they lost.
People forget a couple years ago, was it Bo when they played Arizona?
23.
In 23, they didn't lead in the series at all. Am I correct, Bo?
Yeah, I don't think they did once.
They didn't lead once in that series, and I think is that the series where Mookie and Freddie had one hit.
Yeah, 1 for 23. I was going to say 23. Yep.
They went 1 for 21.
So that's why.
So they've had their bad moments.
100%.
But here's why I think it's different this time. Because they were able to add to a team that just won a World Series. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where people are like, because people are like, okay, the Dodgers, they're going to sign everybody now.
Mm-hmm. But I think they got to win one more, Rob. You just told me that doesn't equate to nothing. You ain't won since 1970-something.
Bo, let's bring Bo in now. Bo has a podcast, a Dodger podcast that he does. Bo, tell us about all the pitching that they brought in. I want you to everybody they brought in because they went crazy. They went crazy shopping.
Across the ocean to get some more talent.
And then I want to know what's your take. What's the name of your podcast again? I've been on it.
It's the Sick Podcast, The Dodger Zone. So check us out. It's me, Ryan Bershinger, Monty Bolaños. Back for this year. Excited to do that again. Love talking about the Dodgers.
And you'll have me on. They need a hater
every once in a while.
Right?
Definitely. Absolutely. Always a standing invitation to Rob Parker to join the show. No, they added everybody. Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki. I was
Who's
pounding
the closer that they got?
Tanner Scott. I was pounding the table all offseason for Tanner Scott. He looked incredible last night. And I think like what you just said is the key here is how many teams that won the World Series went out and got better year?
On paper.
The Dodgers really getting past the Padres last year, once they did that, like they were winning the World Series. I don't care what anybody says. Like the Mets did not stand a chance. The Yankees did not stand a chance. Like that was it.
That was amazing because how bad they were dead. You remember when the Padres beat them big time at Dodger Stadium, and
like, here it goes again.
It looked like it was going to be all over.
Season. Yeah.
And I'll say this: there's a difference. Let me tell you about the Rangers who won the year before.
Mm-hmm.
The Rangers win, and what they do? They lost Montgomery, one of their big starters. So normally you win.
You lose.
Some teams are like you lose something because somebody wants to get paid.
Yep.
You say, well, we
somebody
don't want to
retires,
or whatever it is. And you're right, and I think that's part of the issue with the Dodgers.
But they got to win, because if they don't win, we're going to be sitting here, and then next year, you know what I got to do? I got to hear you say, no NL team since 1975, 76 Reds, Johnny Bench, P. If they don't win or repeat, people will go, oh, look at that, spend all that money for what?
They'll be happy, but Bo, you're a Dodger fan.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that after that, and then the offseason that they had,
gotta win,
that people will be hating on the Dodgers? It'll be either love or hate.
Yeah, people are going to hate regardless. I think the thing that we talked about pre-show here is like there have been a few people that were like, well, I'm just not going to watch baseball at all because they're ruining baseball, and that is the biggest lie of all time. You are absolutely going to hate watch the Dodgers. You're telling me that if the Dodgers are down against the Cincinnati Reds in the NLDS, you're not going to tune in to watch them lose? Okay, please give me a break. But I don't know if they have to win because baseball is such a long game. Like Roki Sasaki was one of their biggest signings, and I don't know if he's really going to start the season in the rotation. He's going to start tonight or tomorrow, whatever you want to say.
Well, because in Japan, right?
And
it makes total sense, right?
Like, who knows? Anything can happen in baseball, but I do think it is interesting that last year's team won the World Series handily and is probably the worst version of the Dodgers you're going to see for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Could be with the way that they have, the way it's set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hear me out, Bo. What I'm saying is to get to a point where you either hate the machine of it all or you hate them. The result has to be success, right?
No, I agree. I know what you're saying. What you're saying makes sense, but only difference
then it becomes now you have ammo, right, to go, see, I told you it ain't all about money, or see, it doesn't work, or look, the Yankees did it, and they didn't guarantee them a win. They spent, the Mets have spent more money than anybody in the last couple of years as well. They're not winning, so I think it feeds to that side of things.
But see, here's why I think the Dodgers are different. Because they won, and then they went out and spent so much money because they signed Ohtani the year before for $700 million. So now people are like, "Oh, this ain't fair. Look at all the money that they're spending, and they're taking everybody, and they got a loaded roster." Yeah. And I think that's why, even before we get to the end, like this year, people will be hate watching.
Simmering. I think it's simmering. I think it's sitting there boiling.
Last year it was, they spent $1 billion on Ohtani and Yamamoto, and it was like, oh, all that money just to lose to the 80-win Rockies and the power of friendship. And then when that didn't work out and the Dodgers won, like now it's like, oh, you're spending all this money, you're ruining baseball. So I do think at some point this year, if the Dodgers hit a lull or something like that, like you'll see people kind of come out of the woodwork again and be like, see, we told you this was wrong and not the way to do it. But also like the Dodgers have a better chance than anyone to win the World Series again
I think what's been interesting is hearing Hal Steinbrenner, hearing the Rockies, hearing more so ownership groups or part of the organization talking about this, complaining about the Dodgers, even trying to get the commissioner in on it, even more so than maybe fan bases. And obviously they have louder microphones than fan bases, but that's been interesting to me to see the Yankees going, oh, man, I mean, I don't think we can win. I mean, you see what the Dodgers are doing out here? Oh, woe is me. It's like, come on, Yankees.
That's genuinely insane.
Come on, Yankees. Y'all been doing this for 40, 50 years.
Yeah,
and now all of a sudden the Dodgers finally win and have some success with it. And mind you, they were just in the World Series, Bo, and you can argue they were a bad fifth inning away from possibly winning one.
More of a series.
Or making it something. Like, Come on now, Yankees.
My biggest question going into this season is that the Dodgers are going to be the shining example, but like as you mentioned, the Mets spent a ton of money this offseason too.
Yes.
A whole bunch of money.
$765 million.
For one human.
Yeah, I don't think the Mets are going to make the playoffs this year, honestly, myself. But no one is going to turn around and be like, "Well, see, the Mets failure doesn't. It means it doesn't
It's about
work."
the Dodgers
Yeah.
because the Dodgers. The Mets haven't won a World Series since 1986. Okay, so people aren't expecting them to, but the Dodgers.
This could be the run, Rob, that people thought might have been in the 2016, 17, 18, 19 run.
When they had those teams winning 100 games
This
every
could
year.
be that run, and depending on how you want to look at 2020. Is it
right,
a part of the run, or is it a one-off?
No, this is a new one.
This could be that run where people had been worried about now.
All right.
They run off 3 out of 5 years or something like that.
877-99 on Fox. We're going to squeeze in some calls here. 877-996-6369. Where are you on the Dodgers? 1-0 to start the season. People have high expectations. On paper, they look like they're going to win the World Series again. Are you loving them? Are you going to be watching them like they're the Beatles? Or are you hating on them every chance you get? Where are you on the Dodgers for the 2025 season?